Maclunky.
Welcome to the top 4 semifinals match of the SGC Columbus Star Wars Unlimited 2K, brought to you by Maclunky Gaming. Today, we have John Tatta duking it out with our very own Filip. Joining us with expert commentary are Tower number 9 and us. Enjoy the match.
All right. John Tatta from the KTOD tournament team is going to be playing against Filip from Maclunky Gaming. You know, we have seen some of these teams putting up some good results in other events, and now we're going to see a showdown here as this show match should be a fun watch.
Yeah, this is great to see. You know, I'm
So,
very
Dark,
glad.
what do you think about this matchup?
So like I was saying earlier, this matchup specifically, it's going to be, I think, very technical. I think there's going to be a lot of very specific actions that can very well decide the game. You know, space is going to be probably very much in favor of the Jango player. I know Han typically doesn't have too many early space units. It's really that 4-cost ambusher that's going to really shore up and help deal with a lot of the aggression Jango's going to be playing. And then I think the pivotal is going to be when Han comes out, whether or not the Jango player can effectively exhaust him before he can, get the attack off and go up to 7 resources is going to be very important.
All right. John Tatta versus Filip, and the players have taken their seats, and we are getting started on the show match here. Bobby Sapphire says, how many subs can I gift to get KTOD after Tatta's name? I suspect you probably don't have to gift any subs to do that, and that can just be handled. But if you were to gift some subs to the stream, it would be appreciated. And yeah, I think Claire has already got it there. Tatta KTOD versus Filip MCG Maclunky Gaming.
I'm not biased at all, but I think, a solid, low ball offer of like, maybe like 1 million subs would be, I think quite good and beneficial, no bias though. Don't worry.
Wait, don't kill me says, wow, terrible business acumen, Tower. All right, they're shuffling it up. I think it looks like maybe Tatta's taking a mulligan or maybe just took longer to shuffle up. Filip
No, he
is
definitely
already
mulligan.
resourced. Let's see how this goes.
Yeah, Tatta definitely went for the mulligan, which was kind of interesting. I only saw a couple of the cards in his hand. I saw he had Crafty Smuggler and ISB Agent. Maybe he didn't have any events or something forward. This hand seems a lot worse than what I was seeing for the first hand. There seems to be a breaking in, a force choke. The only early, I guess his first turn play is going to be Cartel Spacer, which is okay, but you typically don't want to start off. So we also are seeing, I believe Tatta has the initiative. So yeah, he's going to be going and throwing out the Cartel. So now Filip has a free reign to, ramp up to 3 and play a 3-drop here. Totally of no fear of anything happening like that force stroke that could come out, which I think actually Tatta may have resourced. So now we have our first, tempo card of the match, the value of Ezra. We'll see if Tatta can deal with this or has an effective tap unit for it.
All right.
So this is going to be a very important part to this matchup right here, whether or not the tempo deck in Jango will be able to, tempo the other tempo deck in Han. And it does not look like it. It looks like Ezra is going to be getting in.
Yeah, Ezra swings on in for 3. Let's see what that top deck card is for Filip.
Yeah, so he can either play it, discard it. All right, it's
discarding
a
Plo Koon.
Okay.
Yeah, Plo Koon maybe not the best here with how space focused Tatta's deck is.
Yeah. He's definitely going to be now looking for that ambush card because this Lurking Phantom is going to be a lot of damage here. But we now have a good chance of seeing a Han, Han resource pump and going to, we have 4 costs go to 5, play DJ from Smuggle here.
Yep.
This could be really scary for Tatta.
Yeah, we could also see You know, if he swings with Ezra, he could take a look at that top card and see if he can top deck that Azotec Liberator gunship for the ambush on the Phantom.
It seems like Philip may, have the gunship in hand already.
Oh, does he? Okay. That is a very strong answer to Lurking Tai Phantom, though in this case, after clearing the Phantom, the Azotec Liberator gunship would probably itself be removed by Tatta's Tarkin Town, meaning that it would not be in a position to deal with the Cartel Spacer as well.
Which I think would be very fine for Philip, Like getting the lurking tie is way more value, and getting the target count effect is off as well is gonna be huge for him. But
Wait,
he has
don't kill me. Says, am I crazy for thinking Azotec is better than DJ this turn? I think a lot depends on what Tatta does first. Tatta does have the initiative here, and if he immediately swings with Phantom, the Azotec swinging with Azotec to clear an exhausted Phantom is a lot worse than swinging Azotec to clear a readied Phantom.
well, it does seem that
Daring Raid on
ooh,
tech. I think you take the ambush here personally.
yeah, I think you definitely do, because now you can, threaten the I don't it's well, see, this is what I'm talking
He
about.
wants
This
to swing
matchup.
with tech before he gets Tarkin. Well, here's the thing. Maybe he's thinking Tatta clearly wants to get rid of my tech.
Yep.
He's going to Tarkin Town tech, or he wouldn't do this play. I have the opportunity to swing with tech before it gets Tarkin Town, and if he does Tarkin Town next, I still get to do Azotec.
Yeah, and now he's gonna get Azotok, and Azotok is gonna be free reign to now deal with
If
the
he in
cartel
fact
spacer
drew it,
after.
yeah, there
Which
it
yeah,
is.
he did. Oh, he's thinking about it. He didn't do
And
it
yeah, and
immediately.
now there's no Tarkin Town to. I think you absolutely Azotec into that TIE
Yeah,
Phantom here.
I think this is huge. So this is what I was talking about. This matchup, the decisions here are so important. Like Tada's clearly thinking about the
No,
DJ
he's not
line.
doing it. He goes for
Oh
Ezra.
wow, he's playing it safe. That's very. I don't know.
Discards a copy of L3. I would have taken that ambush, man. I gotta say it.
Yeah, I don't know what he could be thinking about that could be
He ambushes
possibly
the
scary.
cartel spacer with the Azotec Liberator gunship instead. Interesting.
This technically works the same way. We're kind of sitting in the same position. I still think you should have done, because if he
The
has a
Phantom
second
is
daring
just so
raid,
much higher value, though. I don't know.
well, because of this, Philip is going to be able to claim. We forward play
Yeah, that's
resources. We know
true.
that Tato would have to not spend 3 resources in order to be able to get a swing off first. But
Someone in chat says typical of a splitter.
hey, I'll defend the players. The long days. They're you don't get many opportunities to eat food during these events unless you're playing like Sabine.
Bobby
You have to be
Sapphire
sitting there all day.
suggests he must have wanted to find something better off Ezra. I don't know if he's worried about his life total. Yeah, I think that's very possible. If nothing else, I think there's the chance he could have top decked another Alzatuk and then fired that one off without having to spend a card for it.
Yeah, it does seem quite likely.
Now, with the
Definitely leaving the
initiative
resource open.
here, I think you probably just take the trade with the Phantom immediately, but Philip might have another plan.
Oh,
Philip
he's
does
going
have
up to
another plan. Ooh.
6.
Going for it looks like he might be going for the classic Han Solo 567 here.
I don't know about this. I don't know why we're going so fast into trying to flip over Han here. I don't know what he could be thinking about
I feel
necessarily.
like there's a lot of stuff that can potentially exhaust Han in this situation.
Yeah, that's the downside. That's like, if Han comes out here and just immediately gets exhausted, like now, yeah, Lurking Taiga is now free to play. There was even a line of opportunity for us. Oh, yep, and
ISB agent probably going to be exhausting Han here. Yeah,
yeah,
showing that what is that, breaking through or whatever
breaking
that
in.
card's called?
Yeah, it's the 2
Breaking in.
costs plus
Yeah,
2
yeah, the
Saboteur.
Saboteur one.
All right, so this is what I was thinking as
Oh,
well. It was Millennium Falcon. The only line I could think about that would be okay in this situation was a Millennium Falcon ambush that could go into space, which I think. All right, so this is such a fast swing back of games and actions here.
yeah. So he missed the opportunity to get the Phantom with the Aztec Liberator, but he was fine with it because he was in position to clear that Phantom with Lando's Falcon here.
Yeah, Philip
And
has done
Philip's
a
board is looking good.
No, Philip's done a great job this game of using his actions to bait out interaction from Tatta. Earlier on, we played or we had the tech go out and ran and damage to the base to pull out the target town immediately, so gunship could come in and clear out 2 space units. And
Yeah.
now showing the Han flip, although it seemed really weird and said, we used it to bait out all the interactions, so a space unit could now come in freely.
Yeah, and it's interesting too. I think he kind of made it look like he was going for that 5-6-7,
Yeah.
but then instead of going for that, he ends up playing this Lando's Falcon ambush just off of 6. I wonder if he also had a 7th cost thing lined up so that he had a plan either way that panned out. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I do know what you mean. It could definitely be like a DJ and resource, something of that degree. So board state is looking quite good so far for Philip. A lot of more damage on base with that 25 damage base. It adds up very fast.
Philip's playing this. Philip, I think, is playing this pretty well. He's ahead on life. He's probably ahead on board. So he can potentially send his Ezra in this turn to clear Jango, and Ezra would remain alive and would get to trigger his ability. Could then potentially trade with the ISB agent as well, or he could maybe just start putting more pressure on the base here. He really has a lot of
We're
options
putting
available.
pressure. We're doing Blaster Ezra into base. All
Into
right, yeah,
base.
we are.
5 damage to the base, and he gets the Ezra.
Yeah, so we do
Oh,
smuggle
that's his
first.
smuggle,
Yep,
and
you
then
have to
he
do that
does the
first.
Ezra peak.
Oh,
Liberated slaves throws out another
wow.
unit onto
Yeah.
the board.
Now this is terrifying. I hope Tatta needs like a van brace or something, to be able to effectively deal with these units here. Well, I think
This is
so.
some
Ruthless
good
Raider.
this is some good gameplay here. I was skeptical of some of Philip's lines earlier, but I think he's playing this pretty well.
No, I think he's playing it really well. This is what this matchup's going to be. Like the lines are going to be very technical and very interesting.
Tatta has a nice answer here with his Tatta has a nice answer here with the Ruthless Raider damaging Lando's Falcon and exhausting it, as well as doing 2 more damage to the base, but he only has 9 HP left.
Yeah.
Well, Filip has, what is it? Is it 22 at this point? It's going to be a tough race here for Tatta.
So is he doing damage? Okay.
Looks like
Yep.
he's going for base, another 4.
This is the put. All right. I don't know. I see. These are the lines I see constantly, where it's the aggro player that's currently behind, and they just throw damage into base because why not? I don't know. I feel like you just gotta throw both your units into
It's tough though.
that Ezra there.
Yeah, so he would end up losing both of his units there, but he could trade both of those units for Ezra, and it would take 5 damage off the board here, plus that Ezra ability, which is honestly a really strong ability.
Yeah, Philip is gonna get at least 5 in, so he's going for
5 in, Lando's Falcon swinging on in, Ezra and the Liberated Slave still up. Now Tatta can easily exhaust Ezra here with an attack, even just from the ISB agent. Looks like he's going to play something out. Let's see what it is.
either 6 or 7 resources. This is. I don't know if he's playing CAD maybe in main. No, okay.
Oh yeah.
It's the exploit. Oh, we're gonna see.
That is nice.
Yeah, we're going to see a double tap here.
Pretty sweet play there. Tatta exploits his Raider, allowing him to get the when defeated effect from the Raider, plus the 2 damage from the from that tank, and that is going to be able to hit Ezra and exhaust him here.
Yeah.
Heavy Persuader tank highlighted there in the chat.
Right there.
7 cost 6/5 when played, 2 damage to a ground unit and exploit 2.
Yeah, like I was gonna say, I think he had the option right there of setting both of the damage into the ground units, exhausted them to hopefully stave off lethal there. But if he didn't have another answer for the space, it didn't really matter too much. But Filip did indeed have the second blaster that pumps the 1 remaining ground unit for Exaxes, and
yeah,
all right,
and that is going to be the end of round 1. Well played to Filip there.
Game 1 all done.
I mentioned it earlier. I was a little confused by the way that he was playing that with the Azotech Liberator, but he ended up putting it together really well, I think. And just goes to show he knows more about this deck than I do.
Yeah, no, I think he's playing very well. I think this matchup is, man, this is like peak Star Wars you can get, where every action is insanely pivotal. You have to think constantly about how you're going to be playing your actions and using them in specific orders. And now we have the second part of this matchup, which is sideboard. What do these players have prepared for each other? I know I see Tatta immediately put out a Vambrace right into that, possible side-in, option. So looks like we're going to see a Vambrace and the 4-cost, I think, Interceptor ship that deals damage to a space unit. I think that's what that card is. Filip has a lot of cards he's going to be siding in and out for this matchup. So you can see a lot of the ground answers, like Plo Koon and stuff, came out. We have a couple of Bamboozles that are coming in. I do not know what that card he's currently showing us. I think that's a set 3 card with a new art. Things I could think about, it could be the 2-cost bounce card, that bounces a 3-cost unit and everything with the same name. I think, which someone in chat just wrote, is clear the field. It's a very possibly. So that could be, oh man, this is an interesting, setup now. Filip's got some really good sideboard cards for this. Yeah, I do believe it's clear the field. So Filip bringing in, it looked at least 2 clear the fields and at least 2 bamboozles. So a lot more of exhaust to fight against, this battle here.
Imagine if we see that bamboozle as a potential counter to the Vambrace flamethrower that Tatta might be bringing in.
Yeah, that will be, man. So now we had like a whole bunch of, back and forth actions and really trying to think about how exactly, you wanted to template your actions and you wanted which one goes first, when you should use it, the opponent use it. And now it's even more so, because now we have situations where it could be complete blowouts for one side or the other. If Tatta has like multiple gunships or something in space of the same unit, and you see a clear field bouncing 2 things for only 2 cost, immediate blowout. If he goes for the Vambrace on a unit and gets bamboozled, that's another insane value play. I'm excited. This is it. This is peak, guys. This is what we're here for. So we want to see Tatta. I think he kept his 6. So hopefully we see a better hand, start than the one he had before. Where it was just Cartel Spacer Go. We would love to see, so it looks like we have a Crafty Smuggler we're going to start with, which is okay. It definitely helps threaten and, at least stall off the early game, exhaust units for, Filip. So if Filip were to go for, a resource pump up here and gets the 3-cost card, which he is going for, and it looks like he's currently showing Bodhi to the top. So we're looking like, Bodhi is going to be our option here, which honestly is probably the best situation out of this. Tatta could get a lot of value. All right. So
Bodhi
we see
misses.
no events.
Looks like some interceptors in the hand there for Tatta.
Yeah. A lot of hate for space, which is interesting because Filip typically doesn't run too much space. So we're gonna see if they can pull off.
We did see the Aztec Liberator and that Lando's Falcon though.
Yeah, but those are normally like a lot more late game cards. You're really, when you have Interceptor, you really want to be killing like mercenary gunships and A-Wing Squadron and Cartel Spacer.
Yeah, take out somebody's Red 3 or something. That's some high value.
Yeah, so all right. So we got Cartel Spacer immediately going to be dealing with, so amazing. So P38 and Cartel Spacer deals with the Bodhi, keep the board state clean. And
or the Crafty Smuggler rather, not the
Crafty
Cartel
Smuggler.
Spacer.
Yep. Sorry.
No, it's all good. I get cards mixed up a bunch. We see the Filip also plays out the Liberated Slaves on this turn. So we still have Tarkin Town yet to be used. Filip's liberated slaves could clear that crafty smuggler, but Tarkentown could then be used to remove them. On the other hand, Filip could start pushing damage to the base here, or could maybe hold that unit in reserve for some other use. It'll be
No,
interesting to see what he ends up doing.
he's I think definitely going to be swinging into base. You in this kind of situation when the opponent has like an effective answer, you want them to spend the actions,
Mm.
to and them doing it. So we already have a feeling that Target Town's gonna be used for the liberated slaves. Whether or not it's gonna be from cartel spacer or from maybe an ISP agent or something else of that sort. Well, ISP agent won't do it, but so it'd have to
Yeah,
be
maybe a daring
the
raid, or
crafty
we've
smuggler.
seen
Yeah.
some ruthless raiders in hand, though I don't think they can be played until next turn or the turn after that. Actually, we're still on 4 resources here.
So I think he's definitely gonna go into base. You'd rather much have Tatta use his, actions having to deal with our card instead. But
Yeah,
you know,
good call there, Dark. Filip indeed immediately goes for the swing on base.
yeah, we're going to be seeing here, which player is able to establish the early gauntlet and can actually, they want to. One player is going to find themselves in a position where like I'm the aggro, I need to kill you as fast as possible, and the other player is going to have to realize I'm behind, I cannot kill you, and they're going to be stuffing a lot more control. And if both players can't identify which one of these two roles they're going to be playing, we can be seeing a lot of racing happening and one player is going to be right and one's going to be wrong.
Yeah. And Tatta looks to be happy to race here, not attacking into the liberated slaves there with the crafty smuggler, but rather just pushing more damage to the base. So in chat, we have someone asking if this is top 4. This is technically a show match. The top 4 decided to prize split. This is what would have been one of the top 4 matches. They
Yeah.
decided to play it out for the viewers. So big shout out to Tatta from the KTOD competitive team and to Filip from Maclunky Gaming for giving giving the viewers this match, even though it doesn't matter for the tournament outcome.
Yeah, they're not playing for any money, but I know both these players and they want to win. They're here. They want to win this match. They want their names. Like yeah, I did it. For whatever the
Experienced
Cummins
competitive
thing.
players.
Yeah, like I made finals. I won the 2K. We had all that all back in the during Baltimore and stuff where a lot of people split. It's like yeah, my deck won it because we won show matches and stuff. But it'll be good. So
Yeah, so it looks like we saw a Cantina bouncer here bouncing the crafty smuggler, which was then replayed, which actually means that it gets its shield back, but more resources had to be spent to bring that unit back onto the field.
yeah, and that is not what Tata would like to have played there on the forecast. You know,
Han's ability used there to generate a temporary resource and enable that crafty smuggler to be played a turn early, I believe. I'm sorry, not crafty
the
smuggler.
yeah, Cantina
The
bouncer.
Cantina bouncer bouncing the crafty smuggler.
So we sit here yet again where both players have to think: Am I the aggro, or am I,
Yeah.
the control in this aspect? When you sit across from two different aggro players, this is what you normally have to think about.
Yeah,
With
now
both,
it's interesting. Tatta does have the option if he attacks into one of those units with his crafty smuggler, he will only do 2 damage, but he can then use Jango's ability to exhaust it and then follow up with Tarkentown to remove it. And his unit will actually stay on the board. But does he want to do that? I'm actually not sure.
yeah, we saw him last round. He wanted to go for damage on base and just threw everything into base. Not even thinking about Tarkin towning. Now that we saw, he only played one unit, the crafty smuggler again, and the Cantina bouncer was a very solid play from Filip. That maybe he wants to change his mind and may turn. We maybe want to hold back and start now effectively trying to manage the board, but it may be too late at this point. That one round difference could be all it matters.
Yes. On another note, I missed this in the chat earlier, but we had a few people getting some subscriptions. So shout out to Yasuke X009. Shout out to Reich Mice for the Twitch Prime subscription there. And I want to give a big shout out to Bobby Sapphire for gifting 5 tier 1 subs to the community. Thank you for your support, Bobby Sapphire.
All right. Okay. qi'ra. We love seeing the opponent's hand.
Yeah. What do you name here? What do you name here, Dark? If you're Philip and you're seeing this hand, we got the
So
Vambrace Flamethrower, the Interceptor, triple Dark Raid, and 2 copies of Ruthless Raider.
this is honestly an easy decision. You're really picking 2 cards. It's either Triple Dark Raid and Vambrace, and both of those cards serve different purposes. If Philip thinks that he's the control, he's behind, he's going to do Triple Dark Raid because that's the most aggressively sciented card. He in this situation has chosen that he's the aggro, so he wants to deal with Tatta's best answer card, which is the Vambrace, which can effectively exhaust all of these ground units and stunting Philip's aggressive plan.
Yeah, and I think he did. It looked like he pointed to that. Indeed, pointed to that Flamethrower, as you say there, Dark.
I do believe qi'ra. Let me just make sure. How much does qi'ra increase the cost by?
3, I
If
believe,
if
which
it's
is just enough to take that
yeah,
Vambrace Flamethrower out of range.
yeah, which I think is just enough that pushes it outside here. Because even if it was like just an increase 2, Tatta would definitely have slammed that right onto Jango.
Now, Tatta goes for an attack with his Crafty Smuggler, hitting the liberated slaves, dealing 2 damage to them, and Django's ability being used to exhaust them as well.
So I think right here in Tatta's situation, we saw he had like Ruthless Raider, Interceptor, Vambrace, and Triple Dark Raid. I think we're so far behind. We got to really like bang on some miracles here, and I think you got to go Triple Dark Raid. Hope to hit a Ruthless Raider that can hopefully tap down one of these units and effectively Tarkin down it. It seems like we're choosing. He's thinking. He's thinking. He wants to use Jango here. He's thinking about the Han.
Yeah. Now, one note about that triple Dark Raid is that with 2 Raiders already in hand, his odds of finding the 3rd one are not so good.
Does he have 2 Raiders in hand? I thought it was just 1 Raider and 2 Interceptors.
Oh, you might be right. I thought it was 2 Raiders and 1 Interceptor, but you might be right. No, I think it's 2 Raiders,
Yeah, I
1
think it's 2
Interceptor.
Raiders. Oh yeah, so yeah, you definitely cannot go for a miracle there. 1 Raider left in the
Django
deck will not be happening.
exhausts Han, and then Philip actually attacks into Django with the Cantina Bouncer and clears Django.
So we're now at a board state where I think this is self-inflicted. This is where you sat there. Last last round, Tatta made a decision. No, I'm the aggro. I'm going to be pushing damage, and did not want to start trying to clear out Philip's units. And we're really seeing what folds here. This is the very classic setup where Philip now kind of has full control of this game situation.
Oh, hey, there's something spicy. Triple Dark Raid. This is something that I
Oh,
hadn't factored in. It's going to be that snail tank that we saw from earlier.
yeah, no, actually, this is an amazing hit. This is this works
That's a
exactly like
that's a
Ruthless
really
Raider.
good play.
Oh my god! Wow. So hey,
The when played, dealing 2 damage to clear the Cantina Bouncer, and then the tank making an attack to clear Han. All of a sudden, Todd is the one that has the better board,
I
even though
changed
that
my
tank's going
mind.
to go back to hand.
Yeah, I think I changed my mind. Exactly. I think the action that kind of was pivotal there could have been Philip, sending the I think Katina Bouncer, one of the 3/5s, into Django to finish him off instead of just having a undamaged unit go into base.
Mm.
And now Tata is effectively kind of stunted the aggro, and he's back on the forefoot surprisingly.
Yeah, and now that flamethrower, the flamethrower Vambrace is still suppressed from Tata's hand. He could play it this turn, but it would be very expensive. However, at this point, I don't really think he wants to play it, especially with Django off the field. It might be more effective to just, I don't know. I mean, he could play out his Ruthless Raider,
Yeah, he's
damage qi'ra, and exhaust her, and then just push damage to base with his other units. He's got a lot of options here.
yeah, no, he's definitely I think gonna play Ruthless Raider. I don't think you Ruthless Raider onto qi'ra. You know, the scariest kind of things that Philip can have in the situation to get out of it is possibly a Lando's Falcon. To go and deal with that P-38. And you would love to Ruthless Raider, just kill that off immediately after it does the 3 damage or the 4 damage to it from P-38.
Mm. It is
But
worth noting that Philip got to see Tata's hand, so knows about some of these options and may be able
yep,
to play around them here.
yeah, indeed.
Now we have in chat, we do have someone suggesting. Also, shout out to Skugla for also subscribing with Prime, much appreciated there, and to Matos619.
Yeah, it does look like Filip
The
may have
support
forgot
for
to defeat
Team
the
Maclunky there
resources.
is appreciated. So, someone in chat, Couch Judge Nick Nelson, suggests that Filip needs to defeat a resource. A smuggled DJ here could be spicy, as it would take Tatta out of range of that take him out of range of that ruthless raider.
And the Vambrace.
Oh yeah, good point, because that qi'ra penalty is still in effect.
Yeah, we're sitting on
Oh wait,
6.
he was
He
actually
forgot to,
saying Filip needed to defeat a resource
yeah,
from Han's ability,
yeah,
not
yeah.
not suggesting a play with DJ. I misinterpreted that comment, but they did catch it.
Still a valid play. Filip, I believe, only has one card left in hand. We didn't necessarily get to see exactly what it is, but you know, it,
Qi'ra clears the smuggler. Yeah, Tatta has a huge card advantage
if
here.
Filip ramps here,
If he ramps
man,
here,
it
yeah, I
has
mean
to be. It's a DJ coming
there's
out.
a ramp. Yeah,
It's a GJ.
he has
And
an
now,
empty hand.
what does Tatta do with this? You're sitting here. You're most likely expecting a DJ to come out. You have to throw.
Do you just hit the raider immediately so that you can get it on the field before DJ lands?
It really depends on what other cards he wants to play here. Yeah, he's just throwing out the Ruthless Raider. He does not want his resource getting taken and him stunting his play, because I know the Interceptors do nothing on this board. Vambrace does nothing. The tank, it could be playable if you get rid of the P38, but I don't know if that's a valued line.
And there's the DJ.
So yeah, here we see DJ
Takes a resource.
see resource does not matter. Todd is not going to bother shuffling them. I love that recent
Rolling
rule
with
change
advantage
as well.
with a highlighted message. Huge shout out to the commentating. They are killing it. Thank you, Rolling with Advantage.
Thank you guys for supporting the stream. Titanic and Claire doing great jobs. I can't wait to see us do more.
Filip now discarding Tatta's resource that he stole with DJ. So Tatta down to 5 resources, but we'll get to resource another card, go back up to 6.
So yeah, we were, this early game looked insanely Filip head, very Filip forward. But I feel like, just one action difference, I think just attacking base. We have one more unit on board to push damage, and Filip may be able to continue this.
Another raider from Filip killing qi'ra.
Yeah.
This is looking pretty bad for Filip at this point.
Oh yeah, this is really looking terrible.
He only has 15 HP left on base, and his opponent has a much stronger board, and he only has 1 or 2 cards in hand.
So Filip would love to see a cunning here. I think, balancing one. Okay. Not a cunning.
That's actually going to end up being a trade, even though it would be left with 1 HP. The when defeated ability allows the P38 to trade with that Aztec Liberator.
Yeah, that is not what Filip wants to see there.
Another 4 damage from those Raiders. 19 damage on Filip's base now. He still has DJ. He brings out Tech.
Okay.
Initiative taken by Filip, or by Tatta, 3 damage to base with DJ. Yep. And there is only going to be 19 HP left for Tatta, but 19 HP is a lot compared to
Filip's 10.
Yeah,
or Filip's 11, I believe.
11.
Yeah. It's a second 4. All right.
Wait, don't kill me. Suggest he just needs a quick super laser blast. I don't think that's going to happen.
Yep, the legendary, 12 cost super laser blast, At that point, you want the exploit one-sided super laser.
Yeah, the invasion of Christophsis. 23 damage on Filip's base after a swing from another one of those raiders. I don't know what Filip might have to try and stabilize this. He's on double yellow instead of Han green, so he doesn't have an option to bring out a Bright Hope or whatever and buy some time. Oh, it's going to be a waylay. That's from the resource zone, thanks to Tech.
Tatta revealed 2 cards, but those 2 cards don't do anything.
Why did he reveal those cards?
I think so. Similar to a player in chat, I think they both misread. But tank only does damage to a ground unit; it does not do to ground a base.
Oh, I think like he was trying to show lethal, but he actually didn't quite have it.
Yes, but the Ruthless Raider here, quick math, what is this, 24, 23, or 25 damage, I think this is. Yeah, so we have 25.
Bobby
Okay, yeah,
Sapphire
he's
says
gonna
he was saying he
sack
can
him,
eat the other raider to do 2. Yeah, he can exploit it.
which I think would, still put you not in range of lethal.
It's at 25, so yeah,
It would have still put him at 25 going to 26 because instead of, just exploiting it, he played the second one.
yeah, and he had this daring raid that he showed. So yeah, now all he has to do is exploit both of the raiders. It looks like they are playing it out.
Yep.
But I guess Filip drew some cards and decided, nope, I don't have it, and I think we're gonna go to game 3.
Yeah, no. We are going to game
CLC
3.
Hassan says, thanks for a great stream. Split is a buzzkill, but amazing production and casting. Thank you. And yeah, once again, big shout out to Team Maclunky for making this possible. And I will also say, big shout out to Tatta from the KTOD tournament team and to Filip from Maclunky Gaming for giving us this show match even after they ended up going with the prize split. It is very hype for them to give another match for the viewers here.
Yes, indeed. Thank you to both players,
Yeah,
guys can definitely
absolutely.
send some backhanded messages to the rest of the top 8, let them know, man. Never, can't
No,
pussy
no,
out any more top 8s.
don't be harassing anybody. This has been a great stream. We have 516 viewers here in the
Yeah.
here on the Maclunky Gaming Twitch channel. That is pretty hype. I think this has been the biggest stream yet from the Maclunky
Yeah,
Gaming tournament streams.
this has been a a lot of viewers, but a great event, today. 69 players for a 2K at an SCG is quite over the normal expectation for numbers for an SCG. Typically, we see around like 50 to 60 for the 2Ks, while like 30 to 40 for the 1Ks. So, people are excited to play, especially out, Columbus, Ohio, the kind of the Midwest region. We're kind of expecting, not too many people to travel those far distances. So glad everyone came out to play it.
Yeah, absolutely. And the we're seeing some hype stuff here. And I think that the third set of this game, Twilight of the Republic, is really poised to be very interesting, especially with the suspension of Boba Fett collecting the bounty that occurred just prior to the set's release. I think they have really handed us a fresh new meta, and it's exciting to see how people are exploring that and what they're finding.
Yeah, indeed. It
And
does look like, I
go ahead.
believe, Tim and Chad just, typed in that the one of the other quarterfinals is going to be posted on Next Gen Gaming. See that soon. The Jango Tarkentown versus Anakin Blue. I believe Ian
Yeah,
was on.
that should be an interesting match. And I was talking earlier when Next Gen Gaming actually showed up in the chat. Shout out to Next Gen Gaming, who also does some exciting match commentaries.
Yes, indeed. We love seeing, these games.
Dookie81 asks, will you stream the tomorrow 1K2? Maclunky Gaming replied, don't think we'll be streaming because we got to catch a flight. Yeah, I think it's just going to be this Saturday event of the SCG Con events that gets streamed, but it's been a very exciting stream, and stay tuned for more from Maclunky Gaming.
Yeah, thankfully we got, 7-round event, nice long day, a lot of rounds, a lot of great decks, lot of diversity, which is amazing. I'm excited for those PQ streams, Can't wait, next month. It's gonna be great.
All right, R2D2 hitting the field here. This is going to now it's interesting here. It appears that Filip has opted not to use R2D2's ability. I guess maybe he thinks his hand is ideal already.
Yeah, and we also then saw decisions already. First action phase, we've already had decisions. Filip, thinking his hand's okay, does not want to try to find anything here. Tatta also was debating on the ISB agent Tarkentown combo there to deal with the R2, but instead chose to Kylo's TIE Silencer to start just applying aggro in space.
Yeah,
Whether he
let's see
will
how this goes. Pan Dubois says you are awesome commentators, and you, Tower, I think you're the first one ever to pronounce my nick right first time. Chapeau bas. Apologies for my terrible accent there. I do speak I do notionally speak French, but I think I read French a lot better than I speak it. Um And we're going and by the way, I don't read French all that well, so that's that should be an indication of how poor my speaking ability is. But Filip is going to come on in here for 2 damage, and then we are going to see
Right.
3 damage to base from Tatta. We do have this racing dynamic, but there we go with Bodhi Rook, and this time he's going to hit. Which one do you take
Indeed.
here, Dark?
It's
Do
Daring
you
Raid. It's Daring
Daring
Raid.
Raid?
Yeah, it has to be Daring Raid. The breaking in is good, but we don't have too many Sentinels, so it's essentially just, weaker Surprise Strike. But you just don't want him putting more damage on your units.
Yeah,
Like,
Daring Raid is also can be combined with Tarkentown to kill very many early game units. So removing that removes a substantial threat. Now, on the other hand, we do have this P38 coming out here. This unit has been seen in quite a few of the games we've had on stream today. And in this case, it's going to do damage to Bodhi and then clear him out with Tarkentown.
yeah. So this R2 is going to be staying alive, but with 3 damage units, Tatta is sternly in front of this race. He is
Yep.
steaming ahead. So
Now looking
Filip,
like he can inflict 6 damage per turn, while Filip can only inflict 2. I do think we saw a DJ just drawn from Filip, incidentally, but I'm
yeah,
not sure if he's going to be able to get huge value from it. We'll have to
no,
see how it goes.
I
There
do
is a
not think we're
cunning
doing it.
there. I don't think we'd seen a cunning yet in this match, and that is one of the stronger cards you can play in a double yellow deck.
Yeah, man, this is going to be interesting here. We'd love to see an Azatec gunship from Filip. Instead, he's just going to keep assembling units to the board, it looks like.
Yeah, that is going to be L3, L337 there, and as usual, she equips a shield rather than rescuing a captured unit.
It seems
But
that Filip,
Emrys was pointing out earlier, I believe, that L3 might actually get to use her capture more now that Cad Bane has entered the game, the new legendary version with the capture ability.
yeah, we'll see. I know a lot of these yellow decks were also playing Relentless Pursuit in their sideboard. Whether, Tata was playing any, or possibly you could even bring one in here, but here we see, I do believe, that's clear the field. So now one
Yeah.
of these units is getting sent back to hand. The only issue is Tata's got 2 resources left, so you're kind of only have one option here. That most likely has to be the 3-cost card.
Well,
Yep,
yeah, I think that's probably the ideal target anyway because it's readied. So he's
yep.
he's saving 3 damage this turn as well by doing that. Tada bringing out an ISB agent and pinging the shield off of L3 there.
All right. So many
Mm.
may not realize there, but that's a very, pivotal decision, you could see with that revealed card, you know,
No
we
good to
know
me dead. That's a strong card.
strong card, but Philip saw his hand earlier. We Bodhied, saw the hand, took a daring raid, and we knew that a breaking in was left in hand. Tata did not reveal that breaking in, so it's a very good assumption that that got a resource and
Yep.
swapped out. So, you know, if you're keeping head or writing on a pad, trying to think, keep in mind what cards your opponents can have, you know, I would in that moment just immediately just strike off that breaking in.
Now, it could also be a bluffing tactic from Tada where he showed a different card on purpose to try and kind of bamboozle his opponent as to what he might have. There's kind of some psychological warfare options with
Yeah,
some of these reveals.
that's definitely an option. I feel like the safest way is always just reveal only what your opponent knows to begin with. Give them
Yeah,
less info,
absolutely.
but I'll be interested. So here we go.
Cunning, huge
Namesake
card.
card of the deck. Cunning for the cunning deck.
Lowercase 2728. Thank you for the subscription here to the Maclunky Gaming channel.
All right, and we
And
are
it looks
going
like we have
for
a double exhaust and bounce. Tada
yes.
had a pretty wide board, but it's not going to be attacking this turn.
Yeah, we went for the safest play we could. Trying to minimize an exact play like this where it comes in and exhausts our unit. Buffing
The
is not good here, so very
Right,
wise to
yeah.
notice this.
The buff option on Cunning is actually very risky against other decks that have the Cunning aspect. This is something that I think is handy if you're playing Cunning Sabine. You have the exhaust options to prevent opponents from going for the greedy +4 or punishing them if they do go for it with cards like Leia Defiant Princess and Bamboozle.
All right, and here we go. This is the action tempo.
Bobby Sapphire says P38 is so freaking
Whoa!
good, and I agree. This P38 has been a star player in some of these games, and it's
I
especially good with Jango's ability here.
believe we just saw a pretty big misplay there from Tata.
What do
On
what do you
that.
what do you think you saw? I didn't catch it.
So Tatta definitely, I believe, we were getting down to the point where, Filip had 5 resources set up, but only 1 untapped. And, looking for hopefully going for the Han, play a resource and unflip. Tatta had 2 holding up no good. And I think Tatta went for, pass, a safe pass into Filip,
Oh,
hoping
pass,
for
and then
Filip
Filip
to,
takes initiative.
yeah. And so Filip immediately took initiative when I think Tatta should 100% have flipped Jango there.
That
And
that could be, given some of the unusual play lines and stuff that we saw earlier that ended up being good. I'm a little loath to immediately say it was a misplay, but I do think that deploying Jango there might have ended up being better for Tatta, as you said.
yeah, I don't know what things, what benefits it's not to have an extra unit out. There's not really many ways that Filip could answer that card to begin
Yeah,
with.
is there anything you would be worried about that could kill Jango? Or that I'm
Both
not entirely sure here.
Han and Plo Koon both do 6.
Yeah, because this isn't it's worth noting this isn't a Quinlan Voss deck where Han and Plo Koon can actually kill Jango or with the bonus damage from Quinlan. So Jango wouldn't be necessarily at risk from one of those. We do
Yeah,
see Han deploying and getting hit by the no good to me dead now. And then it's Lando's Falcon, but it looks like it's being smuggled rather than
yep,
played from hand, so the ambush is not active.
yep. Still a very good, very strong card in this, situation. And here we go. Here's a pivotal decision for Tatta. We have the Han Solo is no good to me. We have 2 of the smaller units.
Ooh, the Van Brace Flamethrower.
Oh,
Oh,
and
Van
immediately the
Brace Flamethrower
baboozle.
gets hit by a bamboozle from hand. He discards a waylay to play it for free. The Van Brace Flamethrower bounces, and Jango is exhausted.
That's the plays we're looking for here. All right. Now, Tatta, you sit here, take a deep breath, and you got to think, am
I
I
was
trading
yeah.
units? Am I behind too much?
I was even saying when they were doing that sideboarding, wouldn't it be crazy if he played out that Van Brace Flamethrower only to get hit by the bamboozle that Filip is sighting in? And that's exactly what happened. But it is worth noting, as Bobby Sapphire says, Tatta still has the Flamethrower. It's not discarded. It's just bounced
Yeah.
to hand. So he will have the opportunity to replay that on a later turn.
Yeah, which I think we're going to see. And Tata's made the decision. I'm going in. Damage is going into base. We
12
are to
damage
hope it's
on
enough.
Filip's base, 8 damage on Tatta's base. That means that Tatta, with the 25 HP base, has 17 HP remaining, while Filip, with the 30 HP base, has 18 HP remaining. Life total's very close here.
Yeah.
Bobby Sapphire suggests, I think Tatta is ecstatic to see Phil discard his hand with the bamboozle. It's possible. We'll have to see how this one shakes out. This has been an exciting match. Oh, and Filip's going for the base. He's
Yeah.
racing this. Lando's Falcon swings on in for 5 damage. We now have 13 damage on Tatta's base.
So yeah, as Bobby Sapphire pointed out, P38 swinging into that Lando's Falcon and exhausting itself, and also another unit is definitely a good line. But instead,
Another
Tata's going to be playing
P38.
another 38. Deals with the 2/2 that only had 1 damage on it.
L3 is off the field. We still
This is a
have
great play.
R2, but that's the only ready unit for Filip.
Yep, great line by Tatta, not to just initially immediately overinvest in the Van Brace here. Because if Filip were to have drawn a, either another bamboozle or another cunning, it could be backbreaking. So
Yeah, a
now,
cunning could be extremely impactful here. The potential to, he could do something like exhaust Boba and Kylo's Tide, bounce the other P38, or something, some combination that would allow him to shut down a lot of this board and get more racing pressure going. But I don't think he has that available, though. We'll have to see.
so we gotta sit here. We do some math. Filip's
Oh,
going for
maybe he
4.
does. Is that 4 resources? Is that going to be that is a
It
cunning?
is, and I do believe I also
Didn't
saw
see
a
it in hand, but
bamboozle.
there it is. What will he choose?
I think you're going double exhaust bounce. To Kylo's tie silencer. I honestly think is probably
Yeah,
the
if you
best.
bounce the Kylo's tie silencer, you don't end up eating the wind plate effect from the P38
Yeah,
because
or
Tatta does
ISB.
have 4 resources up. If he bounces the ISB or P38, Tatta can just replay that unit and get an exhaust. Yeah, and that looks like you got it exactly right there,
Yep.
Dark. He's going for the exhaust on the P38 and Jango and bouncing
Yep.
Kylo's tie. Even though Kylo's tie isn't as expensive as the P38, this blocks that when played ability from going off again.
Here you go, cunning and aggro matchups. You know, this is how you play it out. You know, correctly not buffing his own unit just to get exhausted.
Bobby Sapphire suggests this is an opportunity for ISB agent to attack into R2 and tap it here.
Yeah.
Tatta still has 4 resources. Let's see what he does with them.
You know,
And
it's
I
where
believe Filip actually still has 2 resources himself.
yes, they're both on 6. We sit here in this
Bobby wants to
situation
see
yet
that
again.
tank. The tank was a big deal earlier, and he could play it again, I believe, thanks to exploit. 3 resources being spent by Tatta. It's
Which
the
he
tank. He's going to have to exploit 2 units, I believe. ISB agent and one of the P38s. That means he gets to deal 1 damage
he's
with
just
the
gonna kill R2.
P38 that's being defeated, 1 to R2, exhausting it.
He's gonna
And
kill
then
it with the
the other
P38. Yep.
2 damage just kills it, though, so the exhaust isn't even needed.
Oh boy, here it is.
That tank is a sweet inclusion here. Tatta making good use of the exploit there to trigger these when defeated effects and get some nice exhausts and damage.
Everybody get your cheap hyperfoil heavy persuader tanks. You know, I think that card is looking to be a mainstay in this deck. It is overperforming.
Isaiah M. Esquire asks, is Tatta Bobby Sapphire? Tatta is not Bobby Sapphire, but Bobby Sapphire is on a KTOD member, and I believe he and Tatta have tested together extensively.
Yes. All right. So Tatta has 12 damage on board to the 12, so you can put 24 damage on base. Filip has 9 on the 13, so it can put 22 damage on base. This is a scary one, the setup here.
Oh man,
Yeah.
Hotshot Blaster pulls out for Han. That's going to be 6 damage to the base here for Tatta.
Yeah, this is it.
19 damage
down
now on base.
base.
If Han gets another chance to swing, that's game over.
Yeah, any pump spell on this Falcon and it's over. Like well, that thing's gonna get exhausted.
Tatta can easily exhaust this Falcon
Yeah.
though. Even if he doesn't have anything in hand, he could just crash his P38 into it.
Yeah, we're definitely have to see. We have to see something. This
There's
Falcon's
a
gonna get
forced choke
exhausted.
in hand. He has some options here to potentially kill
All right.
Han. Oh,
He's choosing just straight up to kill it. Surprise strike.
1 damage there. Now Han is in range of that forced choke.
Yep. Filip's got to play something here.
Falcon.
Whoa.
Threatening some extra damage here. Does Tatta have some way to exhaust this Falcon before it lands 3 on the base?
This was actually the best card Filip could possibly have, because it looks like Tatta's got a Ruthless Raider in hand. Trying to count the resources
it's not a Ruthless
correctly.
Raider. It's that Kylo's tie silencer that got
it is the Kylo. Okay.
bounced the other turn. He has Kylo's tie silencer, forced choke, and I
choke,
believe a surprise strike. He can force choke to kill Han, but then the Falcon can swing for 3 and leave Tatta on just 3 HP left. This is a spicy game.
Man, that Millennium
If there's a
Falcon was
surprise
insane.
strike, this is just immediate game over, right?
We're looking at 19. Yeah, that is Xaxes. If he's got it, Tatta's got no way to exhaust this.
Millennium Falcon is an amazing card, and I think Tatta is not happy to see it here from Filip. Tatta going for 2 resources. What's it going to be? Forced choke for Han?
You just know. Well, I don't know if we're playing correctly. There's no way you force. Okay, yeah, it's got to be surprise strike.
Surprise strike. Yeah, because forced choke gives the opponent another card, so it'd be another chance to draw a surprise strike.
Yeah, you cannot let him try to draw it. He has to just have it in his hand.
21 damage now on Philip's base. Does Filip have the surprise strike to win the game?
I see a yellow card. I don't know which one it was. I know he had Bamboozle from earlier, but he's slow rolling. We're seeing.
If he has the surprise strike, he is really slow rolling it. I don't think he has it. I think he would just fire it off.
Yeah. He's sitting because if Tatta has the 3rd surprise strike, so what is that? That's 12, 18, 21. Yeah, if Tatta had the 3rd surprise strike, he claims here surprise strikes the tank.
Okay, so if
So
Filip swings here, he'll do 3 damage to Tatta's base. Tatta will then be at 3 HP. Filip has
2
Crescent, I
resources.
believe Filip has 2 resources. So if he had the surprise strike in hand, he could win right here.
Yeah, he's got 2 untapped. He spent
He
3 on
sees that his
Blaster and
opponent has
3
already
on.
spent 2 surprise strikes.
Yeah. So Filip definitely does not have the surprise strike. Filip is now sitting here. He has to debate: does Tatta have the
Right.
3rd surprise strike? Because if Tatta has it, Tatta claims surprise strikes tank game.
Right. And if he doesn't have it, Filip can swing here and is then in position to win with either Han or the Falcon. The problem is if Filip just claims and hopes to win with Han, Tatta can actually kill Han with that forced choke. So claiming here would put Filip in a lot of trouble, but he doesn't know what's in his opponent's hand.
Yeah, I don't
I
think
think he
Filip's going
has
to be
to take the
claiming.
Falcon swing here to try and win this game, but
He's got 2 options. I don't think he's going to be claiming necessarily the
did he
take.
pass?
No,
What
I think he
happened?
claimed. He claimed.
You think he claimed?
He's now all in on. He's got to draw the surprise strike. He's
He
got to
does get an
draw the.
extra card here from the forced choke. Then he gets 2 cards. Then he's going to get 2 cards from the hand. He has to hit a surprise strike of his own, or I think it's
Yep.
going to be game over.
Yeah, he's got to hit the surprise strike. Does he draw the surprise strike?
1, 2. Does he have it? I see some yellow, but I don't know if that's a surprise strike. I don't think it is.
Oh,
Does he have a cunning? He could potentially exhaust and bounce here and buy himself some more time.
what is that yellow card? What is the 2nd yellow card in his hand?
I'm not sure.
Oh, this is insane. You know, this is it. This is what we're here for.
I think Filip might have psyched himself out here in fear of that 3rd surprise strike.
I don't necessarily. It's just which one will draw the surprise strike. You're really just thinking, but man,
He gave up that Falcon swing last turn, and if he had taken that, but on the other hand, he also didn't know his opponent had the choke, right?
Yeah, you definitely have to think. The choke, was definitely a possible thing. He went for the current idea safer in his head, where if I claim here, I have the odds to draw the surprise strike, and and also just you don't have the odds to kill my Han.
Glucose, yes, the Falcon. I believe the Falcon did not attack last round.
It did not attack.
And if Filip had top decked a surprise strike either with the forced choke draw or either of the 2 cards from the top of his deck, he could win the game right here. But I believe he either didn't or he is absolutely slow rolling this to the maximum. But I think it's going to be a win for Tatta here, to be honest with you.
I don't know. There's not much damage. Tatta still needs to draw, a pump spell.
No,
in order
no,
to like kind of.
No, he's got 24 damage on Filip's base. Filip is just like dead on board, right?
Yeah, but if there's a cunning waylay, like Filip's got other ways where he can't win the game, but he doesn't
But
lose.
he can maybe draw out the game. Yeah, maybe.
Yeah,
maybe.
like cunning waylay, like stops, at least just the basic action play. But
he has already seen 2 cunnings, I believe.
Yes, he has. So it could be the 3rd. He's got a yellow card. I have no idea what it is. Like, change of heart. Another possible sideboard card for the age of these things. I don't know if he's playing it, but taking that tank could be huge.
Change of heart, stealing the tank. That would be spicy. Yeah, let's see what it ends up being.
Let's see. We're looking at our resource pile.
He has a hot shot, deal 40. What is that?
Okay.
He's discarding. He's discarding a resource from the temporary resources or whatever.
Yeah, well, I don't know when he would have temporary.
Did he make a temp resource last turn? I guess maybe he did.
I don't think he did. Okay. It's fine. Play it. It's
Tragic
late.
Comedy 101 says he should pull out Brain Invaders. I don't think that's happening. It's going to be a waylay.
It's a waylay.
Bouncing the tank.
We're stalling.
Now, if both of these attacks go in for Tatta, that's still game.
Yeah,
he has
Tatta's
6 damage on the board, and he only needs 6 damage.
So we're now in the exact same situation that Filip was in. I think Filip's got a bamboozle in hand.
Oh yeah, that's interesting. Yeah, he could exhaust one of these out.
Oh, the Ruthless Raider.
That's a good play for.
Yeah, that one is actually insanely backbreaking.
So this is extra good because it also now means that Filip's only on 4 HP. So if Filip does play a bamboozle, Tatta can potentially tank here and then win first action with the Raider swing for 4.
He has to have cunning. Cunning is the only answer here that keeps him alive.
I don't think he has cunning. I think if he had cunning, he would have already played it.
There's not, whether he plays another waylay, bounces a unit, Tatta just claims. He has any answer to a unit, Tatta just claims. Yep, that's
I
it.
think it's a scoop. That's going to be a win for Tatta.
The Ruthless Raider, great. Well,
man, that was an exciting match. I think if Filip had taken the swing with his Falcon on the previous turn, he might have been the winner here. I'm not sure, but I think it ended up this line ended up being favorable for Tatta. Very interesting game. A lot of psychological aspects there, worrying about like what the opponent might have, playing around a bunch of cards. Really cool stuff to see. Definitely some high level gameplay here between Tatta and Filip.
Yeah, no, an amazing match. Thank you for both players for playing this one out. This has been a blast to sit here and cast with you in Tower 9. It's been great.
Thanks, Dark.
I've been having a great time here. I know the players are sitting there, they talk about their decisions, But
yeah, and I think this also proves, despite the very weak showing from Jango Fett Tarkentown early on in the stream, if they had played out this cut, we would have had a Jango Tarkentown versus Jango Tarkentown final, because Tatta did end up defeating Filip, and the other match was a Jango Tarkentown mirror. So, say what you will about the early matches with Jango Tarkentown, this is a very real deck.
Yeah, I think, I don't know. So everyone's going to sit here. They're going to be, overreact immediately, it's just like Boba, ban Jango, it's definitely the thing that's, thing, but I think it was just well placed. I think it's very well placed. Everyone's set 3 predictions was just, Boba ban. Okay, Han's going to be the best deck now. And Jango, I think, does honestly quite well into the Han deck. It's, as we saw here in this amazing match, that it is very complicated, but there's a lot to be decided.
Those were close, competitive games with a lot of decision points. It was definitely not, one of these decks just steamrolls the other.
Yeah, no. And I think, the Jango deck, all 3 players I know that made top 8 with the deck, all amazing players, So it's definitely not an easy one to immediately pick up and play. You have to really think about your lines and decisions, but I think it's gonna be a good deck to going forward. Very similar to
big shout out to Tatta there, and to Filip as well, for giving us that extra match. Even though it wasn't relevant for prizing, having this show match.
Thanks for watching and supporting Maclunky Gaming. Don't forget to like and subscribe. See you next time.